A lot of fans are asking, what is happening to Manchester United? Now, the answer is right there in front of you, but you have refused to agree with the answers. You brought a coach that has refused to deal with the egos of big players, a coach that doesn't understand that Ajax, as a team, with all due respect, it's not Manchester United. A coach that has refused to understand that the only way to get out the best out of the players is if you're trusted, if they trust you as a manager. And that has brought us to where we are today. Manchester United, Eric Ten Hag has lost the dressing room. He has lost the trust of the players, and they are no longer playing for him. For me, I feel like they want to get him sacked because of how he has dealt with a lot of issues and his recruitment policies. Now, let's take it back to the transfer and look at the players that he brought in. And I keep asking myself, why did you bring in Mason Mount? There wasn't a need for that. And he stripped Harry Maguire of his captaincy. You took him off him and you gave it to Bruno Fernandez. Now, the first thing you would have done is to make sure that he was sold, because keeping him in the team is going to bring a level of unprofessionalism. It's going to affect the morale of some players because obviously he's close to some players and he's been their captain for some time. And not everybody must have been happy with the way he was treated. And now at the end of the day, so shameful, you have brought the same players back into the team and they are playing for you. These are players that you basically didn't want anymore. You said you wanted to sell off, and now you feel they're going to perform at the top level. Against Newcastle, it was terrible. It was so bad. I think that I've never seen Manchester United play so bad. They were dominated from beginning to the ending of the game. And I feel that one of the problems they had is what I call the attitude problem. The attitude problem is when a player refuses to put the work on the pitch. They don't run very well. They don't win duels. They don't want to do anything. It's like you're forcing them to play for you. Now, let's look at Newcastle team, for example. You had a Newcastle team that played a Paris Saint-Germain in midweek. This team was unchanged. It was unchanged. You have Livermore. He started that game. He was still there. You start Joe Ellington. He was still there. You had Gordon. He started that game. And you had Bruno. All these players won everything. The duel, they were running first balls. The space was always there. It was as if Manchester United wasn't playing at all. And players like Rashford was a ghost. You had Wansaka was a ghost. McTominay was a ghost. Now the question I want to ask is, why do you play a pressing football when your players have refused to press? The pressing football works better if the whole team is doing it. It's a collective job. And it hasn't worked in Manchester United for some time. Casemiro was exposed by Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. And the same thing is happening now because they have refused to do the work. They allow the number six to suffer. They've lost possessions. They are not scoring. Why is Rashford still in the team? Rashford should be on the bench. I don't think he should be making the lineup. Rashford is not a world class player. He's overhyped. And Manchester United fans have refused to agree and to understand that he's not needed in that team. He makes the team worse. And Martial, wow, I don't think it's any news. He scores once in 5 years. His record in Manchester United has been terrible. And you could see the way he was arguing with the coach. He was trying to give him some information he didn't want to know. Starting with Rashford was a mistake. Martial should have been in the team at all. The lost possession, the attitude was so unprofessional. And if you look at the record away, it's been a mess for Manchester United. The result against top 9 team has been a mess. I just don't know why they are where they are in the league right now, because they've been lucky, they've had narrow escape. But if you look at their away result against top nine, you see it has been terrible. Now, August 2022, they played Brentford and they lost 4-0. October 2022, they played Man City and they lost 6-3. November 2022, they played Aston Villa and they lost 3-1. January 2023, they played Arsenal and they lost 3-2. March 2023, they played Liverpool and they lost 7-0. April 2023, they played Newcastle and they lost 2-0. April 2023, they played Tottenham and they had a draw 2-2. May 2023, they played Brighton and they lost 1-0. August 2023, they played Tottenham and they lost 2-0. September 23, they played Arsenal and they lost 3-1. And Saturday, they just lost to Newcastle. There is nothing good about this team. He has brought in disunity into the team. He has punished players that should be playing. Tell me how come Anthony, Martial, and Rashford are in this team and you don't have Jadon Sancho? For me, I think he should go. I don't think he can improve this Manchester United team more than he has, but they cannot afford to drop him right now because of the cost. And it's going to cause more problem because I believe that they're still behind the same problems that we don't know in Manchester United. The ownership problem is there and it's affecting the team. But overall, the manager has refused to do the right thing. Have a conversation with these players. Sit down with them. Hear them out. Bring those outside the code in and see how you can integrate them and get them running. You have to unite this team unless you can keep losing. Until he does that, I don't see Manchester United moving forward.